In this video, we'll cover steps 6 through 10 of glycolysis. As we stated before, our arguably handsome pirate with a P battery and his 3 ice pick arm climbing a glacier represents G3P. This cavalier kid, totally unfazed by his friend's terror, is throwing up a peace sign. He's emphasizing that we're starting with 2 G3P molecules. In step 6, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase, or GAPDH, turns G3P into 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, aka 1,3-BPG. GAPDH is represented by this cast member wearing a dehydro suit, adding a P battery to our glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate pirate. His towel will help you remember that he's a dehydrogenase, which catalyzes oxidation reduction reactions. We'll be using towels to represent dehydrogenase enzymes throughout sketchy biochem. GAPDH transfers 2 electrons to NAD+, which makes NADH. To show that NAD+ is reduced to NADH, we have an empty NAD+ message in a bottle and an NADH cap drink complete with 2 electron lightning bolts. This step produces 2 NADH for every 1 glucose molecule. This is really important because NADH electrons are used to produce ATP during oxidative phosphorylation. You can see our 1,3-BPG pirate has a P battery in both his 1 peg leg and his 3 ice pick arm. In step 7, phosphoglycerate kinase transfers a phosphate group from 1,3-BPG to ADP to make ATP. We've drawn a kid with a kind kinase button taking a battery out of our 1,3-BPG pirate's 1 peg leg. I bet he's going to put it in that powered down ADP seagull to make an activated ATP one. Bad call, my dude. Those things are flying buttholes. The product of step 7 is 3-phosphoglycerate, or 3PG. 3PG is symbolized by this pirate with the battery in his 3 ice pick arm and the missing battery in his 1 peg leg. In step 8, phosphoglycerate mutase transforms 3PG to 2PG. The kid with the mutant alien hat is planning to move the P battery in the 3PG pirate's 3 ice pick arm to his 2 belt buckle battery slot. So yeah, simply put, phosphoglycerate mutase relocates the phosphate group from the 3rd carbon to the 2nd carbon, turning 3PG into 2PG. The results can be seen in our 2PG pirate on the left. His 2 belt buckle battery slot is filled, and the battery slot in his 3 ice pick arm is empty. In step 9, enolase removes a molecule of water from 2PG to form PEP. And look, this kid holding the amusement park's most popular drink, Enolade, is mischievously pouring out 2PG's water canteen. What a troublemaker. But convenient to remind you that enolase removes water in this reaction. If you look to the left of our mischievous enolase kid, you'll see a very exuberant robopirate. He's peppy for PEP. Our beautiful journey is not quite done yet. Let's see what the grand finale has in store. Again, we used 2 ATPs during the investment phase, and we've made 2 ATPs so far in the payoff phase. 0 net ATPs gained, huh? Snooze. Well, welcome to step 10, where dreams become reality. In the final step of glycolysis, pyruvate kinase irreversibly transfers the last phosphate group from PEP to ADP to make pyruvate and ATP. Check out that 3rd waterfall, indicating this is our 3rd and final irreversible step. This kind button kid here is about to take the phosphate from our Peppy Pirate's 2 belt buckle with the intention of placing it into an ADP seagull. That way we can get another activated ATP seagull. Hooray! And guess what? We've finally made pyruvate. 2 beautiful molecules of pyruvate. And to help you remember pyruvate, the end product of glycolysis, here's our very last kid putting on a pirate hat. A pirate. Pirate. Okay, maybe you can't hear it, but it's pirate spelled with a Y. Just trust me. Step 10 is another key regulatory step in glycolysis. And what do you know? Another angry ATP seagull attacking a guest. This time trying to nuke him with a bottle of acetyl cola. When ATP levels are high, we don't need to make any more pyruvate because we already have plenty of energy. Therefore, ATP inhibits pyruvate kinase. Acetyl-CoA, which enters the TCA cycle, also inhibits pyruvate kinase in the same way ATP does. High acetyl-CoA levels are indicative that energy levels are sufficient and the rate of energy production can be slowed. In contrast, F16BP activates pyruvate kinase. Kind of like how this 1 banana and 6 cherry, being food and all, will activate this kit. Remember, F16BP is the product of step 3. This glycolytic intermediate works via feed-forward activation, where the intermediate activates an enzyme much further down its metabolic pathway. F16BP stimulates pyruvate kinase, which in turn will pull glycolysis forward. And we're finally at the finish line of glycolysis. We went through all 10 reactions in glycolysis, their intermediates, and their enzymes. So many to remember, but maybe our pirate mnemonics can help you out. Remember this come in sign for the intermediates. Gruesome gangrene, foggy fights, and damp gunpowder are bitter problems to pillaging peppy pirates. We even hooked you up with the numbers in the intermediates, because we love you. And now the enzymes, written on the dead end sign. Ready? Heinous pirates purposefully amputate their gross peg legs, prompting enemy puke. Notice that we gave you 2 important letters in all the words associated with the enzymes that start with a P. Now you can differentiate them. Alrighty, let's wrap up this video. We started with 2 molecules of G3P. In step 6, GAPDH converts G3P and NAD+ to 1,3-BPG and NADH. In step 7, phosphoglycerate kinase transfers a phosphate group from 1,3-BPG to ADP to produce 3PG and ATP. In step 8, phosphoglycerate mutase transforms 3PG to 2PG. In step 9, enolase turns 2PG into PEP. Finally, in the last step of glycolysis, pyruvate kinase transfers a phosphate group from PEP to ADP to form pyruvate and ATP. ATP and acetyl-CoA inhibit pyruvate kinase, while F16BP activates it. Whew, thank goodness, the ride is over. I hope you had a wonderful time on the Pyruvates of the Caribbean. Stay tuned for the next ride at Sketchyland.